Operazione.
Good evening, dear Rotarians and dear friends. Welcome to the Rotary Club Eco Milano meeting. I am glad to have you all connected for this very special event. As some of you may know, the Rotary Club Eco Milano is a cause-based club whose focus is sustainability and the United Nations Agenda 2030. So usually in our meeting, we address one of two of the objectives of this 23 Agenda of United Nations. But tonight, we will address sustainability with a wider approach. And moreover, we would listen and talk about Rotary at strategic level. We would face sustainability challenges in the future. To do this, we are pleased we invited a very special guest, and As president of the club, I feel very honored and proud to host the past Rotary International President Holger Knaack tonight, that is with us. Thank you for joining. And just let me spend a few words to introduce Holger. Holger joined Rotary Club Herzogen-Lavenburg Mall in Germany more than 30 years ago, and he served as in many different roles in our organization. So he was a club president, district governor, multi-district youth exchange program in Germany, Council of Legislation representative, Rotary International director, Rotary International president, and currently the Rotary Foundation trustee, just to quote the most relevant charge for Holger. And moreover, I would say that Holger is a strong supporter of HESRAG organization, which is very close to our club too. And he's particularly attentive to the environmental topics. So very welcome and thank you for joining, Holger. I am really happy and glad to have this welcome for you. As I anticipated, we are going to talk about Rotary, about future and sustainability. And I would give you immediately the floor. Just let me remind to all participants that we will more than happy to have feedback and question for Holger. Please write your questions in the chat, and after Holger's speech, we can read your question. Please be very briefly, very short in the question. We will try to ask every question you may put in the chat. So thank you, Holger. Floor is yours.
So thank you so much, President Florencia. It's a great honor to me here to speak to all of you, and I'm so happy to see so many friends here. Especially, I would like to thank you for playing the German and Italian anthem at the beginning, because at the World Championship right now in Qatar, there is no chance to hear these two anthems because none of our teams are still there. So I think, yeah, it gives us the opportunity to join a Rotary Club meeting here without missing something at the World Championship. Yes, but let me start with some very serious thing, and that's what concerned us all for many, many months right now. And I think that's more important than everything else. And that's the war in Ukraine. And we all know that's a catastrophe that changed the world. And by the way, that also changed the course of your club, because the emphasis is everywhere right now on the war, on the lack of energy. And in many countries, also Germany, we are coming back to so-called dirty energy right now because of these catastrophe of this war, what happened so close to us. When I'm talking and speaking in the United States, I have to explain them how close Ukraine border is to our border. It's from the German border, just a 5 to 6 hours trip to that border. And that's if you think of the distances in the United States or in India or Australia, that's quite a short trip, and it is a quite short trip. And so that's why the war is so close to all of us. You all know that the Rotary Foundation started a disaster response fund, especially for the Ukraine. And normally the foundation is not known as the fastest organization in Rotary. But in this case, in 4 days, we set up this new grant, this opportunity to help the people in Ukraine. And so we collected nearly or more than $15 million. And all of this money is right now spent. So in the next 2 weeks, all the money is spent. And I can tell you at the beginning of the next year, during the trustee meeting in Orlando, 7th to 8th of January, the trustees will take a decision to set up a new grant model for Ukraine. And I think all of us can be excited what happens. But it's not just about the grant. We also need the money for that. I think that's number one. We need, of course, contributions from everywhere, from the Rotarians, to have the opportunity then to spend the money for projects in Ukraine. Just this weekend, we hosted a couple of Rotarians from at home, Suzanne and I, from Poland and from Ukraine. So they brought us missile, I don't know the English name, some plants growing on trees, mainly or more in Poland and Ukraine than here in our country. And so, and they took to Ukraine 2 trucks with mostly warm clothes and sleeping bags to help them. So this is, this is a totally different story if you're not just reading things or seeing things in the television, but sitting next to them, to these friends at your table and hearing these terrible stories, what happens in that country. So I think all of us hope that we really can overcome this crisis, this war, this terrible war as soon as possible, because then we can really come back to what you want in your club and what one of our important goals in Rotary is, and that's to our sustainable goals and to take care of our environment. I would like to congratulate you for your new club model, and just a little bit more than a year, because you really met these 2 important things with your club. That's one is, of course, this environment, this cause-based club model, and the second one is your club model based more on virtual meetings and just with a couple of in-person meetings. I think this is exactly what people in Rotary want like now, having a real cause all of them can be part of. And secondly, a modern and club models what really fits to their needs. And as I can see how successful your meeting is right now with, let me see, with nearly 70 members right now. Hey, this works. So there's no need for concerns of Rotary growing, because your model shows us all that it is possible to grow Rotary. It is possible to attract people with just a good club model and an important cause. And definitely your cause is one of the most important ones. You know, it shows us not how easy, but how, yes, easy it is to engage so many people in Rotary. And it shows us how many people are really interested in coming together, working for the same project, working for the same cause. And so again, it's definitely, I'm no concerned about Rotary if we have more people like all of you here, really being focused on important things and enjoying, but also enjoying these group of people. I think, you know, for me, Rotary is really is like a miracle, and all of us are blessed being among friends, enjoying friendship, and yes, and achieving something in Rotary. For me, as you know, I was not traveling as much as others, but so in the first couple of months we really traveled a lot. And for me, it's one of the great opportunities in Rotary is really meeting so many great people. And wherever you go, by the way, virtual or in person, you are meeting great people in Rotary, people you can count on and people you can really start great projects. I think that really makes Rotary so unique wherever you go. And if I'm looking into these pictures, I see many friends here I met, and I know that all of you are so engaged, and it shows us there are so many people, so many things possible just through Rotary. And I think all of us are really pleased that 3 years ago, the environment became the 7th area of focus in Rotary. For me, it was really high time that we started this 7th area of focus, because not just all of us, but nearly everybody is really affected by that. And what I'm always saying and starting is, really great changes starts always with you and I. It starts with these small little things in our everyday life. It starts just with switching the light off when we are leaving the room. It starts with not overheating our rooms right now here in Europe. And by the way, because of the high prices of energy, I think all of us are really try not to heat our rooms too much. And it's also in the United States mainly, or Australia, not to cool the rooms too much down in winter times. Or what I'm always saying, not to drive too fast on German autobahns. That's also saving energy and saving and protecting our environment. But always, as I said, it starts with these small little things, not using single-use plastic and just using glass water bottles from glass. So that's all these things are really important. And all even if it's just 3 years old, our new environment of our new 7th area of focus, the environment. Over the last 20 years, the Rotary Foundation always supported global grants and for environment-related causes. And it's not just disaster relief fund, it's also when water supplies and so many different things. Our grants are really supporting different projects, coastal, marine, freshwater resources. We enhance the capacity of our communities to manage and to conserve natural resources. And of course, sustainable agriculture, fishing, and agriculture practices. So many things over the last 20 years are already supported. But the Rotary Foundation never made it to an area of focus, never put the emphasis like today on that. And we have the capacity and we have the opportunity to really find great solutions that we can point the way towards to find intelligent solutions, because we have so many incredible members, gave us in Rotary the capacity to make an important and lasting impact. As I said already in the beginning, so many things are possible just because of our members. And again, you can be proud in your Rotary Club because you focused on this cause in your club. And if we think about our action group, ASRAC, this is our fastest growing action group in Rotary. And I would like to congratulate the award winners of this video contest, because they are just published just a couple of days ago. So heartily congratulate on that. Again, this is a really active action group and shows us how many things are possible just because of Rotary. Rotary opens opportunities. That was my main theme that year. And I always and very often said, Rotary is not just a club that you join. Rotary is an invitation to endless opportunities. It opens opportunities to serve in a big project like End Polio Now, but also gives us the opportunity to start a small environmental projects by planting a tree, planting more trees in our communities. It really gives us the opportunity to live a richer, more meaningful life among friends And I think that's so important. Everything we do is together with friends. And by the way, everything we do opens another opportunity for someone somewhere. Right now, I'm a trustee of the Rotary Foundation, and I'm always, when I have the opportunity to talk to Rotarians, I really would love to put some emphasis on our Rotary Foundation, because our foundation is a different foundation. It's totally different because the decisions what to do with the money is not done by the trustees. The decision is taken by you, by Rotary clubs, by Rotary districts, and by the people who make the donations. That is different. The trustees are just setting some rules for the grants, but the decision what to do with the money is really done by you. And as more Rotarians we have, as more Rotary clubs are there who are focused on the environment, of course, as more projects will be supporting the environment, of course. And so that's why I'm always saying our foundation is unique. It's different because, again, the decision is done by Rotarians. It's unique. Before we have our peace centers, no other organization has peace universities like we have. It's unique because we started this polio project and program. And please also give me the opportunity to talk just a couple of minutes about polio today. We have 30 cases today in the world. That looks very many, but it isn't. 2 years ago, there was no single case in Pakistan. But you know, there are environmental examples every week taken from wastewater all over the country, in Afghanistan and in Pakistan. And 2 years and 1 year ago, there were red spots all over the country because everywhere they found polio viruses in wastewater. But there was no case. Today, it changed totally. There are 20 cases in Pakistan, but in just 2 districts in northern Waziristan, quite close to the Pakistan border. But these are just very small communities. But there are no red dots everywhere in the country. Even if there are terrible flood right now, there are no environmental samples of poliovirus everywhere. So that's so different. So we are right now starting to vaccinate all children in this quite rural area in northern Waziristan. But since 3 months or 2 months, there was no more cases in Pakistan. So we are really much closer than before to end polio in that area. Another advantage is in Afghanistan. With the Taliban, we are able to do vaccinations house to house in more than 80% of the country. That was not possible before. And because of this, there are just 2 cases in Pakistan, just in 1 community. And this since 8 months, there are no more cases. So we are really also very close to end polio in Afghanistan. So with this, we are much, much closer than ever to end polio. This case we saw in New York, this is terrible. They found polio viruses in wastewater in the New York area and also in London. And there was one young man who got polio in the state of New York. And this man never travels, but this shows us how fast the terrible disease can come back to all of our countries. That probably may help us in our effort to raise money to end polio. And I can tell you, I was just 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago in Berlin, joining the World Health Summit, where polio pledges from so many different organizations and countries were done. And So beside Bill Gates, Rotary was the pledge for the highest amount for the next 3 years for 150 million. And I would like to ask all of you, even if your course is more focused on the environment, please let's do our job in polio. There couldn't be another or a better reason than promising every child in this world not to be crippled by polio. So really, let's do this. Let's do the job, and even I'm asking you, let's also think about more contributing for our polio efforts. So with this, I'm coming nearly to the end. When I'm talking about the foundation, I think it's not just contributing our money. As I said before, it's so unique because we are taking the decision ourselves what to do with the money. But I would also like to ask you to think about different reasons. We are not just contributing. So I was talking with the past district governor in Florida, and she contributed more than $500,000. It's a lot of money. And I called her when I was president and would like and thanks her for her contribution. And she said to me, no, Holger, it's not just a contribution I have done. I invested in water projects in Africa. For me, it's an investment, and it's a good investment to invest in projects through the Rotary Foundation. So I think that's, for me, a different approach. And it also fits to projects, what for sustainable projects was supporting our environment. It's not just a contribution what we are doing if we are giving money to the Rotary Foundation. It's an investment, and see it as an investment into a sustainable world of tomorrow. So with this, again, I saw I'm very easy talking too much and too long. And so let's chat a little bit. If you have some questions or some points you would like to discuss with me, or probably some tips for being right now a trustee of the Rotary Foundation, I would love to discuss this with you. And yeah, let's start to talk a little bit. It's much better than just hearing me talking. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you very much. We now collect any questions. Let me just tell a few more on the Rotary Foundation, because I am very touched from your words about the foundation, because I think that our club, I am very proud of it, because our club is very close to the foundation. And I would share with you that we ranked as the first club in our district for the amount that we offered to the foundation last year. And also for the End Polio, we organized just a few weeks ago a fundraising as a club. We organized a 80 people meeting in a dinner to collect, and we have been able to collect quite an amount that we devoted to the End Polio Now program. And this is because we as a club, we are a sustainable club, and the foundation is a part very close to us. So I am glad that we are so aligned on it. So any question or comment? I have something, but I would offer other the opportunity to talk first.
Maybe you can start with the other Lorenza, and after they can start to write.
Okay, I can Holger ask with a question for you. I know that you have been working for the youth exchange program in Germany, and as well I have been in the youth exchange program in Italy as well a few years ago. So my question is regarding the future and the young people, because I think that one of the main focus for any Rotarian is how we can invite and have a continuation in Rotary with the young generation. I think that we need to learn how we can attract the young generation, the very young generation also, not only 25, not only, let me say, the Rotaract target, but even the younger, because we really need to have a long succession plan for our future.
Yes, thank you, Lorenza. So, you know, Rotary Youth Exchange is just one part of this to attract more people. Unfortunately, we are losing many of them. And by the way, we all know our data protection in Europe. We are not even able to track them. So that makes it more difficult. So I think for us, we are really opening unique opportunities for younger people while giving them the opportunity to go abroad for a whole year. And it's not about learning a language. We all know it's about diving into another culture, into the language is not as important, but the other culture is so important. And I would like to quote past our President Carl Wilhelm Stenhammar from Sweden. He just said, if every kid in this world between 15 and 17 would have the opportunity to go on a one-year youth exchange, there would be no war anywhere, because we are more understanding different cultures. But as you said, to attract more people, or giving more people the opportunity to think about our values and what is behind our Rotary idea, including our areas of focus. I think we couldn't start early enough. So I'm totally happy if I'm hearing that in the United States, in England, in Argentina, they start already with so-called Kinder Act or Early Act with very young children, to attract them in the Rotary ideas, to start thinking about serving others. And so I really like the idea of starting an early act, whatever, before you can become Interact or Rotaract, of course. So I think we should use our chance and to start things like that again, to bring our ideas closer to younger generations as soon as possible.
Thank you. So I can start. I see some question in the chat, and okay, I can start with our fellow Yassir, and the question is, what are the hurdles to eradicate polio from some areas of Pakistan and Afghanistan? Why the virus is still in these countries?
You know, I think why we are still seeing polio in these countries is simply the question of crisis, war in many areas of these countries. You know, we were able to do the job in India. Nobody expected that India could be polio-free earlier than other countries. And we are right now focusing more on the plus in polio plus. And that means also to focus more on helping people on so many different ways, not just the vaccination, the two polio drops, but also strengthen their whole health system, to bring clean water into communities, to bring more structure of supporting their health, helping mother and child, helping bringing more medical equipment into these areas. So that's all in this plus. And I can tell you, when Rotary is spending this money, and by the way, we in October we took the decision to spend 50 million. This is 1/3 of the 150 million we are able to spend. 50 million collected by ourselves and 100 million from the Gates Foundation. And the UNICEF and WHO ask for so many different things we are paying for. And this really starts with small permanent markers. These, and I think it's $6,500 for permanent markers. And this is just to mark the fingernails, the fingers of these kids who are vaccinated already. And we are paying for the health workers. We are paying for fuel for the cars, and this makes it possible that that our money is really there where the money is needed. 50 million, that's a lot of money. But again, it's so difficult because there is, as we all know, there are difficult areas in Pakistan, there are difficult areas in Afghanistan, and again, I'm really not surprised, but I'm really a little bit excited how close we are, even if we are seeing so many cases right now. But again, they are just on one spot. But you know, these spots is sometimes difficult to reach. When I think about meeting the Chief of Army Staff in Islamabad 3 years ago, and if even the highest general in the country is explaining you that there are areas in their own country where even for the army it's difficult to enter these areas in the mountains. It sounds really strange, and that's again why it's so difficult to do the job in Pakistan and in Afghanistan.
Thank you. I read another question for you, Holger.
Yeah.
Do you believe that protection of nature can be a Rotary International global project like the End Polio project?
Yeah, let me. No, because a project has always a start and an end. And as we all know, so polio we started that project more than 40 years ago, and hoping that there will be an end probably in the next 2 years. But then the project has the end. Saving the environment can never be a project because there's never an end. There's always something to do. It's like peace. Could never be an end if we are thinking of peace. It's a long journey, like in our cause here, the environment. So it couldn't be a project because there will be never a final day where we could do the job.
Thank you. And another one. Does the foundation have a limit of the amount of dollars a club can request for an environmental project, such as planting trees in a community?
Yes, you know, yes, there are limits because our money is limited. If we are talking about planting trees in the communities, that's not just asking for money to do that. As we always talking about sustainable projects. So just planting trees, as we all know, is not always sustainable. It's not just about planting the tree, it's mainly about taking care of that tree, at least the first 10 years. It's and if we are supporting trees through the Rural Foundation, it has to be a part of a regional plan of planting trees. It's not just we are going to plant some trees in our community and asking the foundation to support that with $15,000 or whatever. It's really, it has to be part of a long-term sustainable regional plan of planting trees.
So I go ahead because there are still questions. Another one, we have seen the recent decision of TRAF, the Rotary Foundation, to identify the month of April as a month of sustainability. Would it be the encouragement to clubs to be more involved?
Yeah, that's what we hope. That's what we hope when we are looking for some special month to support mother and child health or peace or youth, or in this case, the environment. So we hope to attract more clubs and more districts to think about special projects, to attract more clubs to do something, and of course, to promote that, not just among Rotarians, but also among people in our community. I think this is for all of us a very good opportunity also to look beyond our clubs and try to involve more people in our community. So we all know that we are just 1.2 Rotarians, 1.4 Rotarians and Rotaractors. It sounds like a high number, but it's just a very small number in our communities as a Rotary Club. But I think our strength is really promoting things and putting other things on board. So like polio, we are so successful with polio because of so many strong partners with WHO, UNICEF and Gates. And if we are looking for sustainable projects supporting the environment, so I think it's about looking for strong partners here. Together with strong partners, we can achieve much more. And April in Environment Month, I think gives us yes, it's like looking for more promoting this and looking for strong partners to achieve more. Now you are muted, Lorenza.
Thank you, Holger. I forgot to unmute. So another one regarding ESRAG in this case. ESRAG intends to be the catalyst of the club actions for the environment. Is there a way to be supported by Rotary and by the TRF, by the foundation in this action?
Yes, I think with the environment as 7 areas of focus, there is a focus. There is a way. There are people really looking after these projects in Evanston, and I think that's the way. First step was the creating this 7th area of focus with also a special team in Evanston supporting that. And the second, I think, the second for me, the obviously step was creating this action group. And as you all know, there are many other action groups in the pipeline, and try to be recognized as action groups. But I would like to see more strong action groups. I think that's more important than having too many of them, and strong and active action groups. And with this, I think that's exactly the way I love a strong action group on one hand, and on the other hand, a good team in Evanston supporting that. And you know, very often we are hearing complaints while the staff members in Evanston are not supporting ideas of global grants, and so they're very often discussing with Rotarians who are so disappointed. But you know, they are not. It's not that they are not supporting different things, but they are really they are really focused on sustainable long-term solutions, and we are looking for that. Very often we have requests for grants more based on emotions than on really long-term solutions, and that's what's very often we have also to disappoint people, because we don't need we need emotions to be active, of course, but when we plan our projects, it has to be really professional and not based on emotions, but based on community assessments.
Thank you very much. And another couple of questions. There are many, but another couple. What action to take for the eco-conscious growth of Interact and Rotaract kids?
Yes, I think Rotary is really a grassroots organization, and we are really counting on Rotary Club actions. That's so what Rotary International or the Rotary Foundation just can do, like these environmental day. So that's a month. So we can yes give you some examples, but the action at least is really done in Rotary clubs and sometimes districts, but mostly Rotary clubs. And so what I'm doing, and what one of my tasks is really to try to get more clubs involved, and to try to attract Rotary clubs to do more, and in many, not just here in this course here, but also doing more for youth exchange, doing more for supporting Rotary club, and also founding and supporting an Interact club. But this is really promoting that and try to put some action into this. But the work is always done by clubs. So I, as a president or trustee right now, what we are doing is setting some rules and talking. But the work is really done by clubs or action groups or fellowships. But it's really, so with this, Rotary is really an example of a grassroots organization.
Thank you. And this one, what will be the fate of other countries in need should the war in Ukraine continues? Because it seems that Rotary is now focusing more on Ukraine. Yeah,
that's a difficult question. Of course, as I said in the beginning, the war is so close to us and for all of us here in Europe. And of course, we are focused on that. And we, of course, try to help refugees in our own country, but of course, also inside Ukraine as much we can do. But I also know when I was traveling in Bangladesh, for example, they were not so quite happy about about the special support for Ukraine, because they are telling me, you know, in the south, we have more than 2 million Rohingyas coming from Myanmar to us, and no one is helping us here. So focusing on helping Ukraine, I think it's a must for us, but we also should not forget what happens in other parts of the world. In East Africa, if we think about the refugees coming from Sudan, southern Sudan, from this part of the world, the largest refugee camps are right now still in Kenya. So they also need support. If I think what happens in Pakistan right now with the flooding, they're also looking for support, and there's simply limited money in the Rotary Foundation. So that makes it so difficult, all these decisions. We are not able to make everybody happy, but we have to focus on things. But I think Ukraine, for all of us here in Europe, is definitely number one because it's so close.
Thank you, Holger. One more. I hope you are not too
No, I'm happy with
exhausted for these full questions. So, given the importance of the climate crisis, could asking clubs to be carbon neutral be a project?
I think that's what we all try to do right now. All of us are really trying to do our best. And by the way, if I think of the 2 years during the pandemic, so because of so less traveling in Rotary, we not just saved a lot of money. By the way, in the year where I had the honor to be president, we saved more than $20 million, not just because of less traveling, but also because of having no convention and having no international assembly. There was no support of governors, and of course this is saving the environment. But I think we are really looking for finding a very good balance between what is really necessary and what can we do not to travel. And this is also for clubs. And I think your club is a very good example, just meeting once a month in person and doing the other 2-3 meetings, virtual meetings. And so that's exactly what we try in Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation. All these meetings in Evanston, we really reduced that number and doing simply more meetings via Zoom. I've done, normally the board of directors is meeting 5 times a year, and they reduced that to 2 to 3 right now, but having many more Zoom meetings, what makes the whole organization more flexible, more nimble. All these committee meetings in Evanston, what normally about 2 times the committees are meeting 2 times, are reduced to 1 time. So I think we are really trying to reduce our travel if it's possible. I very often discuss things like the convention, when people are really 20,000, 30,000 Rotarians are traveling around the globe to come to Houston this year or next year to Melbourne. But on this thing, I think, you know what? Our organization is living because of relations and having just 1 large meeting a year to meet people, and it's different. Hugging is difficult to do it virtually, but it's really so wonderful to meet people everywhere. And I'm totally sure no one will travel here from Europe to Melbourne to the convention just for 5 days. So I think we will use also being in that country to travel that country or to travel on our trip to that country. So I think there are many opportunities to reduce our carbon footprint, to make it simply smaller, and we should do everything we can to do that. But you know, what I'm really hating, if people are saying, okay, I'm traveling, but I'm supporting environmental projects on the other hand. That's not really honest, I think. We should really supporting sustainable projects anyway, and also try to reduce our carbon footprint as much as we can.
Thank you. And I read another question. Eco clubs can be front runners for environmental sustainability, but we have seen the need to overcome difficulties for founding it. How can we get more support from Rotary?
Yes, I think Rotary is doing what Rotary can do. But as I said in the beginning, Rotary is a grassroots organization, and it starts with our Rotary Club, what happens. And I really love the idea of having more cause-based clubs. If it's environment, in this case, if it's peace or helping poor people in the community, whatever it is, a focus is good because it brings more people together with one special focus. And so I love this idea. And by the way, I love the way Rotary is going right now, because it's more based off what people want and not what kind of rules in Rotary are. So I love this idea, doing simply what fits to our members and what fits to our communities best. And that happens right now in Rotary everywhere. But supporting Rotary clubs, yes, we can support Rotary clubs with some ideas and sharing ideas. What I'm doing when I'm traveling or doing Zoom meetings like this, I'm very often sharing ideas and saying, hey, this club has done this, and try the same thing. But I think Rotary is really based on ideas of different Rotary clubs and on their engagement here.
I think that we have 1 hour, one more. And Rotary actors are considered also by themselves to be in the middle of the Ford, not yet a type of Rotary club, like, for example, the Eco Club, no more a program of Rotary. Can we see a path to give them full privileges and also full duties?
Yes, I think, they are right now members of Rotary International, and Rotary Club had at least nearly not all possibilities, but many. They are not able right now to vote to elect the president, or they don't have any vote at the Council on Legislation. But that's just a small part. Normally a Rotary Club, since a Rotary Club also can apply for global grants, it's like a Rotary Club. A Rotary Club can do and is doing the same thing that a Rotary Club is doing. So for me, personally, there is no difference between a Rotary Club and a Rotary Club. So they are mostly simply younger than Rotarians.
Okay. The last one, this is, I think, did the Rotary international representatives participate in COP27? And will be some activities provided in COP28 in Dubai?
One more, please. I didn't understand the 100% the question.
Okay. We have a wastewater problem in Western Mexico. Yeah. Are there other funding options beside Rotary we can investigate? We want to start a school for wastewater engineers. Graduates would work at over 50 other sites that need engineers beside Jatelma Bay.
Yeah, that's a very special. Too special. Very great. Yeah, but you know what? But I can't give you an example. But what Rotary is doing in Delft in the Netherlands. So we are together with UNICEF. We are really training water engineers for Africa. So, and this is really a great example where we really focused on one special cause, and that is water in this case. And if there is the money, of course we are supporting this. I cannot promise if this can happen in Mexico right now, but it definitely happens in Delft in the Netherlands, where we are training and educate water engineers mainly for Africa.
Thank you very much. I think that I think we covered all the questions we collected. And if any other question is missing, we can in a way to feedback. But I think that we really have quite a very wide conversation. And Holger, before we close the meeting, and well, I really want to thank you very much in the name of my fellows in the club to have accepted to join us this evening. And on behalf of the club, I would really propose you to be honorary member of our club if you would like to accept our proposal. It will be an honor for us.
Thank you so much, Lorenza. As I really love your club, I love your idea, the model, I love your cause, of course. So I'm totally honored because it's something very special. Thank you so much.
So thank you, because it's a honor, and we are very pleased to have you as our member. I will send you our logos that we have a new one for the members. Thank you very much. So I think that with this, that is very special new for our club. I think that we can close the meeting, and again, thank you, Holger. Thank you, everyone. I would just remind my fellows in Rotary Eco Club that we have our Christmas meeting in a week. And everyone will be more than welcome if you will join, but it will be a face-to-face meeting this time in Milano that we have, and hope we will be all together. And well, good night. Thank you very much, and hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Buonasera a tutti. Good night. Thank you.
The microphone is open if you want to say hello. And thanks to attend our meeting. Grazie di aver partecipato. Buonasera a tutti.
Buonasera, arrivederci.
Buonasera, grazie.
Grazie a voi, buonasera.
Buonasera, grazie.
Grazie a tutti.
Un abbraccio.
Ciao Enrico.
Buonasera.
Ciao.
Grazie a tutti e soprattutto a tutti gli ospiti che sono arrivati un po' da tutto il mondo, vediamo, anche chi si è alzato presto, si è addormentato tardi, quindi veramente molte grazie, speriamo di avervi ancora con noi per qualcuna delle altre riunioni. Thank you very much to everybody coming from everywhere, and we hope to have you again at some of our next meetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.